Welcome to Linguish. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial for the UK project number 5, Pancake Day. It's a really fun project and we'll be doing some of the activities we can do. In lesson 1, the first activity is to teach a recipe. After, of course, you've introduced the topic, you'll be teaching the recipe using some TPR. So here's some examples. For this, in a big class in front of the classroom or in a circle depending on the size of your group. So, first I put the flour into the bowl. Then I break the egg into the bowl. Next, pour the milk into the bowl. After that, whisk the ingredients together. And you can continue like that for all of the recipe. Of course, make sure that the children repeat the actions and the words at each step. The second part of teaching the recipe, as part of the sequencing, is to put the recipe back in order. Lots of options for this: stick to the board, or, oh no, I've dropped the cards. Can you help me put them back in order? And the children can work cooperatively to recognise the words first, then, after that, to get the recipe back into order. Okay, so in lesson 2, we'll be starting to design our own perfect pancake. And as a teaser for this lesson, there are 2 options. Option 1, with this picture, which picture doesn't belong here? It might not be obvious. The correct answer is roast beef. Roast beef doesn't belong in this picture. Why? Because the rest of the ingredients can be a topping on a pancake. Option 2, what do all 4 pictures have in common? Ask the children, what's the same about these pictures? Is there anything weird? And eventually elicit the answer that all 4 ingredients can be a topping on a pancake. The next thing in lesson 2 is to drill the ingredients using TPR, like you would have done in project 4 for the UK, for the tour of London. Drill the ingredients using TPR. So you can use mushrooms, making sure that the children repeat the word and the action every time. Grated cheese, maple syrup, raspberries, and so on until you have covered all of the ingredients. Then, as part of this, some of the ingredients are savoury, like grated cheese, and some are sweet, like jam. Use this to teach the children the difference between sweet and savoury. And then, leading on from that, we will move on to our next activity. Okay, so after you've drilled the ingredients, we're going to do a bit of practice before the performance to get the children using the questions. So this is called circle talk, and for this you'll want the children sitting on the floor in a circle or standing up if the space is like that. So, the first person asks the question. What do you prefer, savoury or sweet? And the child will respond, I prefer sweet. And then they will then ask the question to the person beside them. What do you prefer?
What do you prefer?
What do I prefer?
What do you prefer?
Okay. I prefer savoury.
Fantastic, well done Heather. And you'll go around the circle until each child has given their preference. It's a really good idea to do it in a circle like this because you get the chance to hear each child and correct them if they make any mistakes. Okay, so now we're on to lesson 3 of the project, Let's Have a Race. Really fun lesson, really great fun to hold a pancake race, which is very, very common all over the UK on Pancake Day. Now, there are 4 options for this. The first option is to make some crepes and bring along a frying pan and hold a race outside. The second option is to make a makeshift frying pan and a pancake and hold the race outside. The third option, is to do the race, to not have a race, but to have a flipping challenge in the classroom with teams of children at the front, either with real pancakes and real crepes and crepes and pancakes, same thing, real pancakes and frying pan, or again, have the children make a makeshift frying pan and pancake. So before the race, you'll want to ask the children, what do we need? We need a starting place. We need pancakes. We need a frying pan. All of this vocabulary they would have learned in the previous lessons. So the idea is you have maybe 4 teams of children in a line, and they have the frying pan, and the aim is to run while flipping the pancake as many times as you can. The team who wins is the team with the most flips. To flip, it has to turn over to count as a flip. The inside option, because of the weather and other issues, and inside the classroom, again the same, maybe 4 teams of children and 1 person at a time up at the front. On the start, they have the pan and they need to flip as many times as possible while the rest of their team count the amount of flips, so that the children are all occupied at the same time. It's also a really good idea to maybe teach some chants, go team, yeah, like that, to encourage the flips. It's a really, really fun, great atmosphere. And after the race, we will then learn some more vocabulary to review, but the main point of this lesson is just to have great fun having a pancake race. Okay, so for the method Think, Pair, Share, if it's the first time you're using it with the children, normally what I would do is write this on the board for think, pair, then share. So for the first time, the children have a model of what they're expected to do. After that, the gestures of think, pair, share are usually enough. But for the first time, I would model on the board. Okay, so now after you've had so much fun with the race, now just a quick review of the race using a method called Think, Pair, Share. So the first step is the teacher asks a question and gives the children maybe 5 seconds to think about it. 5 seconds might not sound like a lot, but when there's silence, 5 seconds is a really long time. Then after that, the children will pair, and then we will share as a whole class. So let's do an example. So after the race, which team, you can write the question on the board too, which team won the race? Think.
Think.
Think. Think. Okay, fantastic. Now we're going to pair. You're going to talk to the person beside you. So remember the question, which team won the race? Okay, so now you can talk to the person beside you.
Your team won the race. Because you cheated.
My team won the race, yes.
Yeah, because you're a cheater.
Fantastic. Now let's come back together as a classroom, and now we're going to share all together. So Ben, Heather, you talked to each other, you paired. Which team won the race?
My team won the race.
Ah, fantastic. Heather, do you agree? Which team
Ils ont
won?
triché.
No, his team cheated?
Yes, cheated.
But who won the race?
Yes.
Well, let's ask everybody else. Amber, who do you think won the race?
I think my team won the race.
Ah, you are the same team as Ben. Team Golden Syrup won the race.
Yeah.
Well done, everybody. And you can continue with this method for maybe 3 or 4 questions. Think, pair, then share. And then you can use it just with the think, pair, for control within the classroom. Thank you.